Hey, it's Derek Hagan. I'm a financial therapist specializing in meaning in life, here with another money health conversation where we're going to talk about expectations. Expectations matter. When we think about how we feel, what our mood is, how happy we are, it all depends on our expectations, what we expect to happen. It doesn't feel that way though. Intuitively, it feels like a good event is a good event. So take this baseline here. Above this baseline, you've got positive experiences. Below this baseline, you've got negative experiences. So what it feels like when things happen, it should feel like things that are above baseline make us feel good, and things that are below baseline should make us feel bad. I'll say that again. A good positive experience should feel good. A bad negative experience should make us feel bad. But that's not really how it is. There's kind of a simple equation that we can think about. F equals H minus E. So what that means is how we feel equals what happens minus what we expected to happen. What happened minus what we expected to happen. So if something happened and I expected it to happen, those two are equal, and it's going to be 0. It's going to equal out. But if something happened and it was great, it was greater than what I expected, then I'm going to feel good. But if it was less than what I expected, if H is less than what I expected, then I'm going to feel bad. Imagine I'm playing a squash match. I enter a squash tournament. And in this tournament, in the first match, I go up against somebody who's kind of he's moved up a division. He's usually in the lower division, but he's playing up. So I commend him for this, but I expect to win. So this green E is that I expect to win. And then when I go ahead and win, well, I've already expected that. H equals E. So that zeroes out, and I don't feel anything. Just, whatever. On the other hand, if I go into the next match and it's against a really great player and I'm expecting to lose 0-3 and I win the first game, well, that feels good because I didn't expect to win any games. Then when I go on to subsequently lose that match, it doesn't feel like anything because I expected to lose. So then when I did, it didn't feel like anything. Then in the consolation bracket, maybe I play somebody, I expect I'm going to beat them, and then I lose. Okay, so now I'm going to feel awful. So what that means is we've got our expectations. There's a positive expectation. Positive expectation that I'm going to win a match, say. And then if something better happens than this, maybe I win a match 3-0 and I expected to win 3-2 or something. Or maybe I expect to get a small raise and I got a big raise. If it exceeds my expectation, then it feels good. If it comes in short of my expectation, then it's going to feel bad. Okay, but it's pegged, whether we feel good or not, is pegged to what our initial expectation was. So in other words, if we think about, this could be a negative event too. So if I expected something bad to happen and something bad happens, I don't really feel anything about that. But if it's not as bad as I expected it to be, then that feels good. Then I feel good about that. Oh, it could have been so much worse. But if it turns out to be worse than I expected, that's when it feels bad. That's when I don't like that. Okay, so let's put this another way. What we expect and what actually happens. So if what we expect equals what happens, then those are the same. This is just a different way of looking at that equation. And this is the same thing with negative events. If what we expect and what happens is the same, then we just call that, that's no big deal. Okay. Now, to view this a different way, those positive shocks, if what happened is greater than what we expected, okay, so I expected this green and it came in blue and it's higher than what I expected, that's going to feel good. And said another way, if what happened on the negative side wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, okay, so I expected it to be worse than it was, then I feel good about that. But then, of course, the flip side is true as well. If what I expected, if I had high expectations, and then what actually happened was low that, so my expectations were not met, and then on the other side, same thing. If I expected something kind of bad, and it ended up to be worse than I thought it was, okay, well then this I call this sorrow. This is bad. This is where I feel bad. Okay, so the antidote to all of this is to let go of expectations. If you can let go of expectations, then whatever happens is going to be good. Now, this might sound like a case for pessimism. I'm not saying never have any expectations and then you'll always step over you'll always be satisfied, because there's a difference between high expectations, which is attachment to an outcome, and high motivation. Okay, if you have no expectations, then you're not likely to be motivated to do anything. So if you're just a pessimist, what you expect is still going to be 0, like it is here. But then what happens is also going to be 0, because you're not motivated to do anything. This is not about motivation for a process. This is not about motivation for a system. You can still be motivated to do things. This is detaching from expectations of a particular outcome. Let go of the expectations for particular outcomes. Let go of goals. Focus on systems. And you'll be much happier for the process. You get one life. Live intentionally.